Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott coming live for the second time today. And in this video tutorial, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you something that you may not have realized you can do. You can stencil candles. Did you know that? I mean, you can stencil just about anything. Yesterday, we did this beautiful galvanized tin bucket. Isn't that pretty? And we're going to use this same stencil and the same white chalk paste to do some candles today. And also I'm going to show you a variety of different candles, and I'm going to show you some candles that I did last year. I was thinking I washed them off, but I didn't. So I'm glad I didn't. Alrighty, as you're hopping on, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Feel free to sprinkle, feel free to ask questions, all that good stuff. And let's start at the very beginning. All right, I love candles. And I don't know, maybe you're the same as me. I love them. I have underneath the cabinet where the TV is, I have a huge variety of different candles. Most of them are battery operated. Let me show you this one that I'm looking at right now. It is an actual real candle, and we're not doing this project today, but this was something I did either last summer or the summer before. It's a real candle, and I decorated it with sand and these little teeny seashells. I mean, there's so many things that you can do with candles. Another thing I love to do with candles is create candle garters. And this is an example of one. So tell me in the comments if you're a candle person. I prefer the battery operated kind in general because I think they're safer, but that's just my opinion. So we're going to be doing this one. This came, I don't remember where I got it, but it was a set of these 3 candles, 3 different sizes. And they're all battery operated, although I haven't taken the time to go get batteries yet. They're probably going to go somewhere out in my family room or kitchen because I have a very muted sort of color palette out there. So that's what we're going to be doing. But before I do that, let me show you. This was something that I picked up at Old Time Pottery. It was $17, which is kind of, in my opinion, because I'm frugal, a lot for 3 candles. But again, there are 3 different sizes. These are more of a white color. The thing that's cool about this, though, is that they're battery operated and there's a remote. So that's an option, to look for something that's battery operated and has a remote, and if possible, to get the kind that have wax on the outside. They look more real than the ones that are just plastic, like, well, I don't have any handy right now, but you can get some battery operated candles that are just plasticky. Okay, did you know that you can also get candles at Dollar Tree? These are a little skinnier, and I just got them yesterday, or the day before. The day before when I was at Old Time Pottery. After I did that, I popped into Dollar Tree, and my new friend Christy was telling me about this craft that she had seen, and she was getting some of these, and so I grabbed some too. Let me see if I can get this darn thing open. Okay, what I want to show you, why I want to get it open, I got 3 of them because I do think that when you're doing decorating, things look better in odd numbers. Okay, here we go. Finally got it open. Okay, the thing she told me about this particular one is that it is, like, it feels like it's wax covered. This is what the top looks like. They're not fancy, but shoot, for $1.25, you could do some fun things with stencils with these. So that's everything I want to tell you about candles in general. If you're going to do a candle that you're going to burn, and you're going to stencil it. Just be cautious to keep an eye on it. Don't light it and leave it unattended. That's the lawyer in me giving you the warning. Okay, so this one I did last year, and I used the gray chalk paste, and it was this stencil, which is called Lace, Flowers, and Berries. It was the one I have in my drawer, which is looking kind of yucky because I've used it a lot. It's a beautiful stencil, you guys. Look at the design on that. I love it. But what we're going to be doing today is this one. This is the stencil from the tin, and it's also the stencil that I already did the big one with. So, what you're going to want to do to get started is have some kind of a soft surface so your candles won't roll away. And then, if they're old, or even if they're new, but they've been sitting on a shelf at TJ Maxx or Home Goods or Target or something, then take a paper towel and just get all the dust off of the surfaces, okay? And then I'm going to use this stencil, which I've labeled Flower Power. I am not going to fuzz this because I've used it a lot. And it's not necessary, I don't think, to fuzz it at this point. Okay, what was I thinking? I was thinking that, just trying to remember. Okay, so the trick with doing a candle, oh wait, it's the top that I wanted, is to have some place to grab onto it. And if you stick your hand in to where the candle is, then you can hold this end to move it around. So I'm going to lay my stencil towards the top up here, so I don't have a huge amount of stencil that is poking out. Does that make sense? Where do I get all my cute tops? This one came from Chico's, and I only purchase clothes when they're on sale. So it was a great sale, and it's a super cute top, isn't it? I didn't make this one. Okay, so then you're going to lay your stencil on, and you're most likely going to have this problem. Where do you end it? So what I have figured out works the best is to pull your stencil together. Hope that it's not a brand spanking new one. If it is, you need to fuzz it really well. And I'm going to, this one, I'll be able to get it unstuck, no problem. What I did was I just pulled the two pieces together. And so this is the overhang, but this will give me almost a complete impression of this stencil. Not quite, but almost, okay? And the other thing is, I'm working on my tacky towel, but if you're using black or a dark color, just make sure that you're working on something that you don't care if it gets some dark chalk paste on it, because it may not come out. Oh my goodness, I am at the bare bones of my white chalk paste, and I do have an order coming hopefully very soon. White and black I use the most. So this is chalk paste, not ink, because ink has to be heat set, and guess what? If you put a candle in the oven to heat set it, it's gonna melt. If you use a heat gun to heat set a candle, it's gonna melt. If you use an iron, so I'm using chalk paste, and that makes it not permanent, but it will be stable, and that means you don't have to heat set it. So I'm just gonna put a blob of chalk paste on here, and I'm gonna start with a small cut apart squeegee. I'm gonna start at this place right here. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Okay. It's not going to be perfect because it just is, it's hard. The seam area is gonna be hard, but turn that candle so that that part is hidden, and it'll be fine. And then I'm just going to be working this way, sideways on my candle. And I probably started with too much chalk paste. That's another thing. I'm going to put some of this back. You don't want to be working with too much chalk paste because you don't want big clumps of it to come through your stencil like I had right here. Okay, I'm holding on to the little flicker part of it. And I'm going all the way up to the top of my candle and all the way down to the bottom. Of course, I just put that chalk paste back in my pot and I need it. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it just a little bit. And it will be okay for this to lay on itself on this tacky towel for just a few minutes while I finish going around my stencil. It'll be fine. I do want to get the spots where there's big, thick areas off. I know this is not exciting to watch, but stenciling on candles definitely takes a little practice. But shoot, you can have one candle that you can decorate in different colors, and you can dress it up and down for the whole entire year. You can do stencils that have words on them, and you don't have to have 25 different candles. So I think that's pretty nice. Wow, I am seriously down to the last little bits of my pot. Okay, you guys, if you have questions, just let me know in the comments. If you want a link to this amazing stencil, just say link. Or if you want a link to that lace and berries or anything else, just say link and I'll get it when I'm finished. And if you like this or this idea, feel free to sprinkle this to your social media. Too much again. Okay, we're almost to this seam, and I'm going to take just a second to pull it tight. This really is the only hard part of stenciling on candles, is what to do when you get to the end. And then being okay that it's not going to be perfect. If you're a perfectionist, don't start your very first time stenciling this project. Okay, so I'm going to take this part apart. I hope that's good. I'm going to very carefully take this off and try not to smudge it. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna see how this came apart. It's just fine. It's because I've used it a few times. If it's new, use it a few times before you try it on a candle, and then make sure you fuzz it extremely well so that you don't have the problem where your stencil is stuck to itself forever. Okay. I think this looks pretty darn good. There's a few spots where I didn't do my best. Where's the seam? Here's the seam, but it's not super noticeable. There is blood right here. Once it's dry, you can take a wipe or a wet paper towel, and you can go along the top to get any clumps of chalk paste that might have landed here, and you can use your fingernail to scratch off like the spots where it's really thick. So like on this one right here, I just am going to use my thumb to kind of pretend that I'm following that design and scratch a little bit off. Or you could use one of these tools. These are paintbrush squeegees. So what do you guys think? Is this cool or what? Is this something that you might be inclined to do? That is what I would love to know. Let's see if I can get this picked up and set in here without messing it up. Yeah, I would love to know what you think about this idea. So here's how your year could go. And maybe you have a couple sets of candles in threes. Maybe you do something springy or an all over pattern. Then for summer, you switch it out to a light blue, and you could use summer stencils if you would like, or another pattern. Then for fall, they have the most gorgeous, and when I say they, I mean Magnolia Design Company. They have the most gorgeous fall leaves over, all over pattern stencil. It's not available right now. It's only available during the fall and winter. But you could do chalk paste in fall colors with that. And then for Christmas, you could do an all over Christmas design or a specific something that says Christmas in red or green. So you can see how you can switch it out all year long. If your candles get a little bit stained in between, then just try running, not the area that's gonna operate the batteries if you're using those, but try putting it under some hot water for a second, and then you might be able to almost pull a little bit of the wax off with a paper towel. But I haven't had that problem. So Carol says she loves this idea, and Karen says she loves it too. I hope you guys do. My goal here is not to be the best crafter in the whole wide world, but I want to give you lots and lots and lots of ideas of different things that you can do so that you can take the ideas that you got here, make them your own, in your own colors, your own style, using the elements that you have, if you do, or that you can source. So really, I just want to get your wheels turning, and I hope this idea of stenciling candles has gotten your wheels turning. The all over patterns really are the best for that, in my personal opinion. I love the all over patterns. And then yesterday it was I showed you guys that you can stencil on galvanized tin. And then the day before that, I showed you how to decoupage the Dollar Tree plastic sand dollars, and they look pretty darn good. So I'm always trying to do something that's going to give you an idea that you can take and run with. And I hope that this will be an idea that you can take, make it your own, run with it. And if you would like a link for this stencil that we used here, or for anything else, just say link and I'll get that for you. If you have questions, feel free to ask. If you liked this video or you like the kind of crafts that I do here at DiyDreaming, feel free to sprinkle this to your social media. And I think that's pretty much it. So have a wonderful rest of your day. As always, I'll get close-up pictures and I'll put those in the comments here, and then also separately on DiyDreaming. So you can come back and look close if you would like. You can also come back anytime you would like and watch this on replay. Okay, have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys later.